Thank you, Noel. Up next, we have Mr. Eric Hughes. And I think a good deal of us know Eric from his work at the University of Arkansas. A pretty well-read gentleman when it comes to the history of our people. And I'm gonna give it a couple seconds because I got a song that we have to play because I really can't. No. This is a song I think about every time I think of Eric. He reminds me, this is me staying humble and reminding myself of my roots. So without further ado, Eric Hughes.
Good afternoon, and I want to first say thank you to Ms. Emma Willis and the Bentonville community for your invitation to come share today. Just being real, usually I don't fool with Bentonville like that, but I do appreciate the opportunity to come and share. I would like to say all glory to God and all power to the people. My name is Eric Hughes. I am a PhD candidate in the History Department at the University of Arkansas, and I am a founder of Visionary Enterprises. And today I won't be before you too long, and I just want to say I thank you again for listening to these words. So today we're here to talk about Juneteenth, but not just any Juneteenth, Juneteenth 2020. Juneteenth 2020. It's been real already this year. So today we are here in historic downtown Bentonville, Arkansas for the first time ever to commemorate a monumental rift in our nation's core fabric. Now, as a historian, I'm supposed to stand here and tell you about Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation that ended slavery and finally gave freedom to Black Americans, but we all know that it didn't. We already know that the Emancipation Proclamation only freed those states who were in rebellion, and those states who were in rebellion didn't even consider Lincoln as their president, so they didn't give a damn. Most importantly, Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman, among many, can attest that enslaved Africans began their own emancipation long before Mr. Lincoln ever put quill to paper to issue his Freedom Edict. As Union troops entered the South as early as 1861, enslaved Black people exploited the chaos of war to free themselves. Now, you should know that Lincoln's proclamation was issued on January 1st, 1863. But it wasn't fully executed until 2 years later, on June 19, 1865, when Union General Gordon Granger landed on Galveston Beach in Texas with 2,000 federal troops to secure the last unoccupied Confederate state of the Civil War. And I'm supposed to share how General Granger read his General Order Number 3 from the balcony of the Ashton Villa in Galveston, declaring, quote, "The people of Texas are informed that in accordance with the proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and property rights." Granger continued, "The freed men are advised to remain quietly at their present homes, former plantations, and work for wages. They are informed that they will not be allowed to collect at military posts and will not be supported in idleness, neither there nor elsewhere," end quote. But General Granger's declaration brings me to the real reason I stand before you today. Some 155 years after General Granger issued his little statement, as a Black citizen who grew up in one of the most impoverished areas in Little Rock, Arkansas, I stand here and tell you straight like this: we ain't free. We ain't free. Those statements and those proclamations are nice and they're there for America's official record, but they did not secure our freedom in this country. Every push for freedom by Black and poor and all other oppressed peoples has come from their own strength and their willingness to die to hold America to her claims of liberty and equality. We've always fought for our own civil rights and against sharecropping and convict leasing, lynchings and Jim Crow, redlining and urban renewal, mass incarceration, racialized drug crisis and medical targeting. Even now in 2020, the year of revelation and clarity, 2020, the year of revelation and clarity, we fight against the twin evils of racism and capitalism still, in their ever-evolving, more insidious, sophisticated forms. So I need y'all to hold on to your britches right here. The Waltons will be seen as the last great robber baron family. The Waltons will be seen as the last great robber baron family. Now what do you mean, Eric Hughes? Their infrastructural model has literally changed the landscape of America. Mom and pop stores, gone. Small town pharmacies, gone. And we all know that that's just the beginning. With more wealth than 42% of Americans combined, the Waltons have exported their business model into our classrooms, giving billions to corporate-style education reform initiatives. We know how billions are allocated from throughout the Walton infrastructure towards the privatization of our schools and the segregation of our cities. We know about the Public Schools Choice Act of 1989, the Charter Schools Act of 1995, which was amended in 1999, and the Opportunity Public School Choice Act of 2004, as well as all of the unchecked philanthropy to the State Office for Education Policy, the Northwest Arkansas School Choice, and the Arkansas State Teachers Association, among many others. Now, these contributions support the school-to-prison pipeline by discouraging academic success and stimulating the growth of private prison populations that provide legal slave labor, demanufacturing for the conglomerate system. We know about your racially discriminatory hiring practices, and we know the real devastation of store closures on communities, small and large, across America, across Arkansas, hell, across Little Rock, where I'm from, creating food and employment deserts. We know that you pay your people, but you know that you don't pay the people that make you the world's largest retailer. Pay your people, man. This BS5 and Down mythology, all the ballparks and museums, the racial equity centers, all this in this Wally World bubble are okay, but pay your black and brown people. Pay your black and brown people. Hell, you making $18 billion just off of our vets, but we already know how that goes, all right? So labor exploitation, getting back to Juneteenth, is exactly what General Granger's Juneteenth Declaration demanded, that freedmen quietly return to their plantations and work for wages. Well, we ain't free if the same thing is happening 155 years later. Now, it's debatable whether a power system so expansive could or even should be dismantled. But what's not up for debate is our unequivocal and unwavering demand that the system address the needs of the real communities they exploit. The people, the community, our activity, not some proclamation or some statement, liberated African Americans from bondage and pushed the nation to examine itself at its very core. Today, the same must be so. We are at a singular moment in time where the clarity of hindsight compels each of us to examine our own complicity in these great injustices, even myself. Now is the time for all of us to give sober reflection and accountability to unjust corporate and governing policies, to take real corrective steps to fix them. Because I'm here to tell you that the storm ain't coming, the storm is here, and the chickens are roosting.